hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
Good afternoon, people of Sharjah across the UAE, and welcome to another hour here on the Afternoon Karak with myself, Mikhail Atiyah. Unfortunately, my lovely co-host is still out on a vacation. If you're tuning in, Aisha, just want to let you know I'm missing you, and I can't wait to see you next week. I'll be running the show solo for now, but don't worry, I got you, and you got me. If you're tuning in to the radio on 95 FM, welcome. And to all of those who are tuning in to YouTube, yes, we have a YouTube live stream. It's constantly running 24/7, anytime, anywhere. I got my lovely brother who every once in a while tunes in from New York, even my sister from Japan. So it just comes to show that, like, you know, it's literally anytime, anywhere for your viewing and listening pleasure. And guys, welcome to the Afternoon Karak on this lovely afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. Days are still hot. Days feel still very sweaty, you know, steamy. But don't worry, you know, we're getting, like, I would say, we're getting closer to the fall season, and hopefully things kind of cool down. Maybe cloud seeding might take its course sometime in the near future. Never know. And yeah, so this hour, we got some really interesting news. Oh man, first off, Star Wars. We're getting a new spin-off series based on the Clone Wars series. If you ever spent any time on Cartoon Network and watched Clone Wars, you're a huge fan of that series. Well, this is sort of like a sequel to it, and where it fits into the chronology of Star Wars, I'll be talking all about it and what we can expect, especially for all Star Wars fans out there, as well as an interesting Amazon listing for the PlayStation 5 just appeared out of nowhere online. And we might be getting closer hints to what the PlayStation 5 price could be, because, you know, these two big consoles, Xbox and PlayStation, have not revealed their prices yet. And believe me, I think the price is the biggest difference when it comes to consumers choosing with which console to take for next generation of gaming. As well as we got some updates on the Batman production and how it's picking up with one major change, and so much more. Guys, be sure to tune in for the hour and join in the conversation. Text me 4215 into Slaughter Do. Would love to hear from you guys. If you just want to say hello, tell me how your day was doing, you want some advice, you want some recommendations, I'm your guy, Mikhail Atiyah, right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Pulse 95.
It's been a while since we got some Star Wars updates, because we know very well that Disney is doing all that it can in terms of efforts and production to really flush out the Star Wars franchise. I mean, you spend, what, $4 billion to get the rights to Star Wars, you're going to take advantage of it. And with how I would say Star Wars Rise of Skywalker ended, a lot of people are have like the mixed feelings, and we won't be getting any updates on the future films anytime soon, but we know that Mandalorian second season is coming out later this year, as well as the third season for The Mandalorian is now in development. And surprisingly enough, Disney Plus just announced that they're working on a new animated Star Wars series called Star Wars The Bad Batch, which is set to debut on their streaming service on 2021. Now, The Bad Batch will focus on a titular squad of clone troopers called Clone Force 99, aka The Bad Batch, who were first introduced in the final season of the Clone Wars. And I mean, if you ever spent any time watching the series, the final season just came out earlier this year. So it's nice that they're sort of continuing it in a different, you know, with a different focus, but still in the world of Star Wars. And to go on more about this, the Bad Batch is an elite group of soldiers who possess unique skills from standard clones. For example, one of them has like enhanced eyesight, so making him a great marksman. Another has like physically enhanced strength. So it's nice that it's not going to be just regular clone soldiers, but it's also going to be, you know, uniquely skilled clone troopers. And how that plays out in the story is something I'm sure fans will really enjoy. What's important here to know also is that the new series is set in the post-Clone War era, which would place it chronologically in between Clone Wars and the Rebels, the TV series, and will focus on the 4 clones as they take on daring mercenary missions and struggle to stay afloat and find new purpose following the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire. Now, this is pretty cool. I like this because Disney is really intent on fleshing out the world of Star Wars in very different ways, and still respecting the chronology, the saga of Star Wars. Because it's very hard, I'm sure the biggest challenge is to stay canonically true to the stories, the 9 films right now, but also be able to give people, the fans, new stories about characters that we know and love. One thing about the Clone Wars that people really enjoyed was the story arc of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker. There's also Hisoka. I think her name is Hisoka. She was actually the prodigy apprentice for Anakin Skywalker, as well as Darth Maul. And we hope to see that in the Bad Patch, more of those iconic characters from the Star Wars franchise, maybe even some new ones that don't play a role until maybe sometime in the near future. But for now, this is really great announcements, great news, because we still don't know anything about the next Star Wars trilogy. We know that it's going to be set, it's going to be like a prequel. It's going to be set thousands of years, maybe hundreds to thousands of years back before the first Star Wars film. It's going to take place called the Old Republic era, and we're going to be seeing like the golden age of the Jedis, and even the deadly Sith organization as well. So if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a good time. I'm looking on Twitter. People are so excited, not only for The Mandalorian, but getting a new season, sort of like a sequel to Clone Wars, especially when it just got wrapped up earlier this year. And I guess it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. That's all I can say. So guys, text me 42105 into Salat Urdu. What do you think of this new spin-off series called The Bad Batch? It's going to be a sequel to Clone Wars and a prequel to Rebels. If you've ever invested any time on those series, I remember back in the day I used to watch it on Cartoon Network, and it's surprisingly good. A lot of the episodes are a bit filler, but there are stories that really focus into the nitty-gritty of the war, the conflict between the rebellions and the new empire. And that's something that a lot of people don't get a chance to see, especially with the movies, when it's just the movies about the heroes and their personal struggle to fight against the greater evil, So yeah, it's really nice. And I think by 2021, we're going to be getting more updates about this series, even a trailer, and what we can expect from this new series called The Bad Patch. And I'm waiting for the song to end. It's almost getting there. 5 more seconds. Dun-dun. And end. Nice timing. All right, I'm going to be taking a bit of a break, and coming up next, I'm going to be talking about that PlayStation 5 listing that just came on Amazon. A closer hint to what the price of the next generation console will be like. So stay tuned for all of that and so much more right here on the Afternoon Karak.
You're listening to Pulse 95.
So we are several months away from the launch of the next generation video game consoles, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and Nintendo is just with the Nintendo Switch, doing its own thing. Doesn't really need to compete. Love you, Nintendo. Shout out to Aisha. He's a huge fan. But anyway, we got some really cool details over the last couple of months. We had the Xbox do its unveil back in December, I think back in around the Game Awards time. And back in June, we had Sony's PlayStation 5 reveal. So they showed some of their big video game titles and exclusives, as well as the console itself. I remember I did a reaction for it. Blew my mind away. I still love it. That's just my opinion. But anyway, we still don't know from each of these consoles how much do they cost. We've had all sorts of rumors and theories and speculations. It's $500, it's $700. How much does it cost? Well, there's rumors that it's going around $450, and it's very interesting to see that these two companies have yet to unveil the price, and there's a real strategy behind this. I'm going to be talking about it in just a bit. But here's the thing. Recently, last night, Amazon just opened up a listing for a product, which we all know, the PlayStation 5. A product listing. So that means you can go there. It's a placeholder page where you can pre-order the PlayStation 5. It's an image of the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and the standard one, as well as some of the accessories. And all it says is Holiday 2020. And this just came out last night, and it's causing all sorts of buzz, and it's gaining so much attention. And it really implies here that we are, at any time right now, going to get the price on that Amazon listing. It's just going to pop up eventually. So it just means it's a matter of refreshing the page and realizing when the pre-order option comes in, and we'll be able to see the price. But I think, again, Sony's not stupid about this. The fact that the pre-order button there, the option to pre-order is not there, because I think they're waiting for the July 23rd Xbox Games event. They're waiting for Microsoft to talk about their games and potentially give details of their own about the price for the Xbox Series X. And then follow by PlayStation's August event that's coming out, I think a State of Play event, and maybe then they will unveil their price. And here's the thing, I'll tell you why both of them are being hush-hush about this. And this goes back, this is a little bit of a history lesson for you guys. This is something I personally witnessed back in 2013 at the E3 conference that happened in Los Angeles, where some of the biggest gaming companies and publishers come in and unveil the latest announcements and premiums to all of their biggest video game related games as well as products. And PlayStation and Microsoft had their conference, their panels at that event. Now, here's the thing. Microsoft had it a day before. I think it was in June 2nd, and then followed by PlayStation June 3rd. And it was that day that they revealed the console, and that you're going to get it bundled with the Kinect, and it was going to cost $500. That was like a yikes moment kind of thing with consumers, So the day after, PlayStation had their panel, and they're like, here's the PlayStation 4, here are the accessories, here are the games, and it's only going to cost $400. They undercut their product by $100. And I think that made the biggest difference for consumers. You can have the best games, you can have the best specs, you can have all these cool gimmicks for your consoles, but I think the price plays the biggest role here. And it's why this generation of gaming, PlayStation and Xbox, is almost kind of like they're playing a waiting game here. They're waiting for one of them to, reveal it and then undercut them in the market. So if PlayStation comes out with 500, Xbox is like, you know what? I don't have anything to lose. We're a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're going to cut it by 100. They're going to try to do the same thing that Sony did back then. Who knows? But I feel that's the strategy here, because you have to understand that $100 difference back in 2013 made the biggest impact across the gaming industry. And now, statistically speaking, the PlayStation 4 sold over 100 million units worldwide, whereas the Xbox One only sold about 40 to 50 million units. That tells you something. The price makes a big difference. And it's why this time we're looking at the Amazon listing on the PlayStation 5. We're refreshing the page. We're waiting for that pre-order option to come out. And hopefully we'll finally get news on the price. But again, Sony and Xbox, Microsoft, they're both waiting for one of them to unveil it first. Because then, strategically speaking, they're going to know what to do next and how to market the price for gamers and worldwide consumers. But I want to hear from you guys. Text me, join in the conversation, 4215. And Slaughter do. What do you think is the price of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? We still don't know. I can make my theories myself, but at this point, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of being patient and waiting for these two companies to finally unveil it, because we're only a couple of months away. They keep saying this vague term, holiday 2020. What does it mean? Does that mean November? Does it mean December? It's got us all really just on the edge right now. And we're getting closer. Time is ticking. People want to know that price, because that price will determine, and I hate to say that there's victors when it comes to gaming, to the console wars, but I think the price will basically determine who's the winner of the next generation console wars. And that is my discussion for this news. Coming up next, I'm going to be talking about the Batman, the new Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman. It's coming back into production again, thankfully, but this time with one major change. I got all the details for that and so much more right here on the Afternoon Karak, so stay tuned.
Pulse 95.
Now, we all know because of the pandemic, nearly every major film production has basically been postponed or shut down. And, this year has been a bit weird for the film industry and a lot of movies. Still waiting for that new James Bond film. How could I forget it? Oh my God. No Time to Die. Yes. It was supposed to come out in April, but unfortunately we have to wait until November. No problem for me because November is my birthday month. So I think of it as like a gift for me. But enough of me. And more about the Batman movie, the Robert Pattinson film that's being directed by Matt Reeves. And, obviously Warner Bros. And other major film productions are desperate to, basically get things started again, restarted, and bring in production to full swing. We know that James Cameron is back to production in New Zealand. There's also the Mission Impossible, the sequel. I think Mission Impossible 8 has been given like special treatment in UK for location shooting and stuff like that. But we got a new update about the Batman movie that was supposed to be shot on the location in England with hordes of extras. And Warner Bros. Has made it very clear that they want to get the Batman movie out into theaters in 2021. And so they have basically reported that they're going to be taking the same approach as Universal with Jurassic World, which is also a sequel film for the new Jurassic series in production. And the big change here is that they're going to be coming back in September, full swing production, but this time they're going to they're going to scrap all of the location-based shoots in favor of creating everything in studio, in-house. And, it's understandable because film production, we always know that it requires a lot of locations and, they would have to go out of the U.S. to do some of these shots and whatnot. But because of the pandemic and the random spikes in every country, depending on where you're filming, things can be unpredictable, especially when it comes to film production and how tight and how very strict, scheduling takes place. Every day of shooting is very important. So they can't afford uncertainty. They can't afford having their production just randomly shut down because of an eventual spike of some kind because of the corona. So it's understandable that they have to do things now in studio. It's very smart. We actually got this on Monday from Twitter from a man named Chris Tapley, who's involved with Warner Bros. And he basically said, hearing the Batman picks up back in September, all locations scrapped, building everything in studio now. And, you're thinking, okay, will this jeopardize the quality of the film? Who knows? I think that, if they're going to go in studio, there's a really good, valid reason. And some of the biggest blockbuster movies are done in-house. So it's I would say, the most understandable approach for the film industry now until things ease up, until restrictions are uplifted. We keep forgetting, guys, that we're still in a pandemic. We should take precautions just as these big production companies are doing their own personal precautions, and until things ease up and then things get better, the shift of how movies are made, how companies approach shooting and whatnot has been, this is a good example of it. Basically getting scrapped and doing it in studio. And they're really keen. Warner Bros. Is really keen to get this movie out by 2021 because, they're really investing in this new Batman universe. Because yesterday I was talking about the Spinoff series that will focus on the Gotham Police Department. It's kind of like a detective show set in the world of Gotham, but also interconnected with the new Robert Pattinson Batman film. So you can tell that Warner Bros. Really wants to push this new Batman universe out there and as soon as possible without any delay in production, any delay in schedule, and have this movie come out by 2021. And we'll be hopefully waiting on some new updates, potential trailers, potential, little juicy bits out there about this film. I'm a huge Batman fan myself, from the comics to the animated movies to Christopher Nolan's trilogy. So I can tell that Warner Bros. Is taking real good care of the Batman franchise. Do text in 4215 and still out there do. Would love to hear from you. What can you expect from the upcoming Batman movie? Do you think it will live up to the previous epic Batman films that have come out? Do you think Robert Pattinson has what it takes to surpass Ben Affleck Batman? I know there's a few people out there who still vouch that Ben Affleck is the best Batman, but you let me know. Text me 4215. It's a Salat or do. I'm going to be taking a bit of a break. I'm going to be wrapping up the hour with a final suggestion right here on the Afternoon Karak.
It's almost 5 p.m.
That was Afternoon Karak. For dessert,
Aisha and Mikhail suggest...
Guys, we always should remember that we're still in a pandemic. We still have to take precautions. I know restrictions have been uplifted. There's no more curfews. You guys can kind of go a little crazy, but still with some, I would say, limitations, right? And one thing is that, because of these limitations, we always feel that we really can't enjoy sightseeing anymore. Not as much, a lot of my friends constantly complain about, this is summertime. I want to travel. I want to go sightseeing. I want to tour around. I want to see different places. I want to see a different view. And this one is one that actually caught my eye because I was looking online for something that is beneficial when it comes to just, finding a connection, but across the world. And I found a website, surprisingly enough, and this is my suggestion for today. This one's called Window Swap. And basically, it's a website that instantly transports you to a video view of someone else's window, somewhere else in the world. You simply go on the website and you click the button, and it just randomly puts you into a live stream video of somebody's window view. And it's really cool because you can go from like being in Singapore to San Francisco. You can be in Bangalore. You can be in Sweden. Actually, I have the website up right now. I'm actually I'm Bangalore, India, and you can keep clicking it again and again, and it gives you random views. Now I'm in Berlin, Germany, and it's just really nice, because it's something about it is calming and somber, and it's almost like visual therapy. Especially if you're getting tired of your own view at the house, just seeing the same window view every time you wake up. So this is really nice, and I think you can even connect it to your laptop, HDMI, have it up slapped on your big television, and just basically click the button every time. Now I'm in London, UK, and some of these views are just gorgeous. You feel like you're there with them, and I think that's something that we all need. We all got to feel like we're kind of like virtually traveling, seeing the world, exploring, while also adhering to, the restrictions and how things are at the moment. It's almost like, it's when we're in times of tribulation, we always find a way to cope with it. And I think this is a really great coping mechanism. Check it out. It's called windowswap.com. You just click it, and it's crowdsourced by many people across the globe. They just have their video camera on their window view, and you just enjoy a live stream of visual therapy from across the world, from anywhere from Australia to Sweden to London. Actually, let me click it one more time. Now I am in Singapore. Oh my God. Oh, I wish I could describe to you what I'm seeing right now. Some people really go out of their way to show just the beauty of their views at home. And I want to recommend it to you guys. Again, the website is called windowswap.com. Enjoy the visual therapy. Enjoy the day, guys. The grind hasn't stopped, and it won't stop until Thursday. But it is Tuesday. We're getting very close. And my hour is over, unfortunately. But fortunately enough, we got Yellow Home, Anna Schofield, and Big House. They're going to keep you entertained and in company until from 5 till 8 p.m. today. And if you miss me, don't worry. I'll be back here again, same time from 4 to 5, only here on Pulse 95. Guys, have a wonderful day.
Pulse 95. You're listening to Pulse 95. Pulse 95.
It's Pulse 95.